on my recorder. So just explaining that I got started in the makeup industry, and then I discovered the lashes, and it kind of took over my life. And as I got busier, I realized I needed a location because I had been driving all over doing house calls, basically is how I started out. And then once you get to a certain amount of clients, it's really more economical to have everyone come to you rather than spend so much time in the car. So that's when I first started looking for my first location. And then just kind of out of luck found this great spot on Melrose in West Hollywood, which is a very nice area of town, and found a great landlord and basically jacked up my credit cards and got a loan from the bank. I didn't have any money to start. I didn't have anything to my name. I figured I had nothing to lose. I had good credit. That was about it. And that was kind of how I started. And I've learned a lot of things kind of the hard way. So I love speaking to people that like yourselves that are just kind of starting out in this industry, and hopefully you'll get a few tips from today that will let you prevent some of the trials and tribulations that I've experienced and allow you to kind of grow further faster. So that's my goal with today's session, is hopefully to give you guys good tips that really apply to any area of the industry that can help you kind of skip over some of the hardships that a lot of us faced. When I started, I didn't have really any mentors or people even in the industry that I knew that owned salons. I came from the makeup artist side, so I came from working on set to opening a salon. And I had worked in cosmetics at like Neiman's and Saks through college as like a job doing makeup. And I'd worked in photo shoot, but I never really had worked at a salon before opening my own. Well, I take that back. I did work for a medical spa for a short time, but I didn't have any good mentors, and I didn't really know how to do things. I had to just kind of figure it out on my own. So hopefully these tips will help you guys. So I call it my 10 secrets to lash business success, but it really can apply to any beauty business. Just out of a show of hands, how many of you are into doing like lashes and extensions? Any of you? A few of you. How many think you'll focus mostly on skincare? A few of you. And then how about hair? No hair. Okay, so you guys are all aesthetics. Cool. So any questions about me and why I started my company before I jump in? No? Okay, cool. Well, the reason how I found your awesome school is, I guess, one of your co-students signed up for our classes, and she was talking to Nellie, our account rep, and saying, oh, they showed your videos in our class. So if you guys want to watch any of our videos, they are on YouTube for free. You can kind of check those out. They're demos, they're not full trainings. And if there are things you're interested in getting certified in, we do online certifications as well as in person. But right now with COVID and stuff, the online has worked out really well for people. It just allows them to kind of go at their own pace and train at home. And I find that it's actually maybe even better than in person, because it's the whole live class how I would teach it, but then we have the macro lens that really zooms in. So especially with like lash extensions, you can really see almost better on the video than you can in person. So we're really excited about our classes, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys today. I just I'm so inspired by all the new people coming into our industry, and I really love helping with the business side of things. It's kind of my passion. So, and Nellie just joined us. Nellie is our account executive. If you guys ever have questions about our trainings or our products, she's the lady to call. She is the guru, and Nellie comes from a business background as well. So she's a really great resource. So basically I started my brand because I owned a salon and I was doing lash extensions, and I wanted something healthier and safer. I found a lot of the products on the market just weren't great. There was no cleanser. That was my first product. There was nothing to clean the lashes that wouldn't ruin them. Everything had either alcohol or like surfactants or things that would damage the lashes, or the clients would mosh and then they'd get bacteria and issues. So kind of by chance, I was chatting with the male customer doing his lash tint and telling him I really wished I had a cleanser. And I don't even know why I brought it up. But he was like, Amanda, that's what I do. I developed all the products for Murad and Freddie Verkai and all these lines. And he became my first product mentor and helped me launch the cleanser. And we have the same formula that I launched with, we still have. We've just updated our packaging to make it more high end and beautiful. It's recycled glass, so eco-friendly. And we're still to date the only cleanser on the market that's really 100% lash safe. So that was our first product. And then over time, clients started developing allergies and things like that. So we wanted to make a healthier, safer lash adhesive. And that's kind of how my brand was born. It was really something I wanted for myself as a client and as a lash artist and as a salon owner. And then because I had to make in such big quantities, I started selling it to friends and other lash accounts. So the mission behind the brand is really just to improve education, health, and safety in the lash industry. But again, all of these tips can apply to any of your careers in the beauty industry. So just out of a show of hands, how many of you think you're going to graduate and maybe try to open your own place? Anyone? Few of you? How many think you'll work from home? Couple, one person. How many of you plan to rent a room? And how many of you will do house calls? Okay, and what any other things that I missed? Other plans?
Oh,
I can't.
I was gonna work for somebody, like somewhere.
You're gonna work for somebody?
Like a contract.
I'm so sorry. I'm having trouble hearing you guys.
Yeah, like yeah. Work for somebody.
Work for somebody. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, even if you're working for someone, you're still your own business, because we all know, even as a customer, we go to our service provider for them, right? We would follow them. Like if you have your favorite hair person and they go to a new salon, most likely you're going to follow them, right? Because you go for you may originally go because you heard of the salon, but once you fall in love with your stylist, your esthetician, your lash artist, you tend to be loyal to that person. And so you want to be that person to build a business that wherever you go, that's your business. So you're going to get your leads and your customers from the salon, hopefully, but you're still your own business. People come back to you because of you, or don't come back to you because of you. So you still have to think of everything as your own business, even though someone else might be making some of those higher level decisions as far as pricing or things like that. So my first secret to a successful beauty business is retention, client retention. The hardest thing we do is bring in a new client. It takes the most amount of energy and work to bring a new person in those doors. You have to either get them through marketing, you have to get them through advertising or word of mouth, but whatever it is, you have to get them in the door. So that's the hardest thing. Once they're in the door, keeping them as a client is much easier. They've already chosen you, and as long as you make them happy and are continually to be professional and do all the things, they're going to be loyal, hopefully, and then it allows you to build your business. One reason I love lash extensions is just because it's such a repeat business. Every 4 to 6 to 8 weeks, they're coming in for a fill, kind of like hair color. You might skip a facial, you might even skip waxing, but you're not going to skip your lashes because everyone sees those and no one wants to have like the two lashes looking kind of gangster on their eyes. So, it's just something that if you're a lash person, you get addicted, and then they do change your whole face. So that was one strategy for me, was to sell packages for the lashes, because then I knew I had a client for the year. But the idea is whatever you're doing, whatever services, whether it's facials or peels or waxing, if you can get them on a package where they're going to be a repeat business, that's like an automatic deposit into your bank account. That business is there, and it can help you budget, manage cash flow, just helps you build the foundation of your business. And then when you add new services, you tell those clients about it. You have new products, you tell those clients about it, and then you could take that same base of clients and increase your revenue. So we really want to focus on client retention once you get them in the door. With lashes in particular, we do that by having the longest lasting lashes, because if your lashes don't last, similar to any other beauty service, people are going to hop around. They're not going to be loyal, and they might get burnt out. No one wants to do their nails every 2 weeks. No one wants to do their lashes every 2 weeks. It's a lot of maintenance. So one strategy behind our brand for our professionals is to get you guys a longer retention, so that way your clients will talk to their friends and you'll get super busy. Because as women, we're super busy, right? If my friend's lashes last twice as long and it's $50 more, am I going to pay? Heck yeah. I'd rather save that hour out of my life and spend $50. And over the long run, since I'm coming less often, it actually saves me time and money. I would much rather do that. So word of mouth spreads, and that's how you guys will get busier. So it's all about retention. Tip number 2 is quality over quantity. You really want to focus on providing a better quality service rather than the most amount of services. We are limited by our time and the room, right? So we're not like, if you're selling a product, you could sell 100 products in an hour, 1,000 products in an hour, you can scale. But when your product is yourself, which is in the beauty industry, your time is your most precious resource. So it's much better to maybe spend a few extra dollars on your supplies so that you can offer a better quality product at a much higher rate than to try to save nickels and pennies on your supplies and have, not repeat clients, have to constantly be sourcing clients, or just have not as great a result. You want to differentiate yourself by having a better quality service so you're not having to compete on price. We only have so many things we can control when we talk about differentiating ourselves in the marketplace. So there's always going to be the cheapest lash place, the cheapest facial bar, right? There's always going to be the best quality, or the one that's the prettiest. There's always going to be the one where they're eco-friendly. So when you think about your target market and what your price point's going to be, you want to think about what those people value. If you live somewhere and the people really value being eco-friendly, then make sure your salon's eco-friendly and make sure your price point is reflective of that. Some people will pay more to know their salon is eco-friendly. There's 100 different other examples. Maybe it's some people value, going to the most fancy place in town. They want to be seen. They want to know they have the hottest stylist that knows all the things. So you want to differentiate yourself in a way that's not necessarily on price, because it's very hard to compete on price. There's always going to be someone cheaper, and you don't want to race to the bottom. You only have 8 hours in the day. So if you're lowering your price, that means you're lowering your overall salary. It doesn't matter how many clients come in, because you can only see that 8 to 10 clients in the day, if that makes sense. You're limited by your time. So where a product can do a major sale blowout and sell tons of products, you're only you. So you do those sales, that's your time, and you've just discounted it. So you really want to think about how you can differentiate on something other than price, add value. Maybe it's you give a free paraffin while they're there, or maybe it's that when they come in, you have really great coffee. It could be lots of things can bring clients in, but you have to know who your target customer is and what they value. If your client just wants the cheapest price, you could have the fanciest, best lashes that last 10 years that are soft and lush, but they don't care because they're going to go to the cheapest place. And the best example I give of this, and people that have watched any of my videos have probably heard it, but I always talk about here, I'm in Beverly Hills. My lashes here start at $325 for a classic, and they go up to $480. And there's a lash place down the street that's like a lash bar that charges half of that, right? I don't feel I have to compete with those people. I only have 8 hours in the day. My 8 hours are booked. And the best example I give is down the street from here on Doheny, we have 2 hair salons. One's a Fantastic Sam's, and one is called Andy LeComp. Andy LeComp is known because they do Madonna's hair, one of the stylists there. I think a haircut there costs about $500. The people fly around the world with their celebrity clients. The salon is beautiful. You'll go in there, the paparazzi will be there, you'll get your coffee, blah, blah, blah. Fantastic Sam's also offers haircuts. $35 in and out. You don't need an appointment. There's probably hair clippings on the floor. It's probably not the cleanest. You may or may not even choose who your stylist is. Maybe it's just whoever's working that day because you walked in. It's a different experience. But the people that go to Fantastic Sam's, will those people ever pay $500? Never. That hairstylist can give them a free shampoo, offer them 50% off. They're still not going to go, right? They're not driven by the values that salon is bringing. And the same is also true. Do you think that client that goes to Annie LeComp that wants to go to Madonna's hairdresser, do you think they're ever going to go to Fantastic Sam's? Absolutely not. Fantastic Sam's can say we're free all day. That person's not going there because they don't value the cheapest. They value something else, right? They want to be seen. They want to pay the most. They want that, they want the Louis Vuitton of hairstyles, right? They don't want the Walmart bag or whatever it is, right? So we all have things we value. Some people, it's about status. Some people, it's about price. Some people, it's about, again, being eco-friendly, whatever it is. But you have to figure out who your market is what they value, how to get that client in, and how to price and be in the right place for that. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay. My next tip or secret is less clients, more services equals more product, more profits. What that means is if you do the same number of services, one service per client, or one client doing all the same services, which one makes you more money? Anyone know? So say you have 10 people that do $100 service, or you have one person that does 10 $100 services. Which one makes you more money?
So the one person, yeah.
The one person. Why?
Because he's on return.
You save on time, right? Because every time there's a person coming in and out, they can run late. They have to fill out the forms. That takes you extra time. You're getting them a coffee. By the way, the cost of your snacks, your refreshments, whatever that is, changing the linens, you're going to pay to have your linens cleaned, or you're doing your laundry, whatever, there's a cost to that. Basically just the introduction, closeout, checkout process, it all takes time. So anytime there's a turnover, that's eating up your time. Remember, we're limited by the day. So if you can have one client come in and do 10 services, it will probably take you half the amount of time as 10 people doing the same 10 services. Does that make sense? So what your goal is to not only get great clients in, but you want those clients to do multiple services. And a lot of them can be layered. For example, I can do a lash lift, a brow lamination, a lash tint, and a brow tint all in 45 minutes. Or if I book a lash lift, it still books 45 minutes. If I book a brow lamination, it still books 45 minutes. So I'd rather do all 4 at once and quadruple my income than have 4 different people come in for those services and take up 4 hours of my day, right? Because we're paid, if you break down your income, it's based on your time. So you're going to divide out how much you worked by what you made. I'd much rather work 4 hours for $1,000 than 1,000 hours for $1,000. You know what I mean? So you want to think about that when you think about your pay. And the other thing on pay is set your prices when you leave school is what you want them to be, and then offer specials. A lot of people graduate, they don't have confidence, so they put their prices so low. And then what happens, you might build a beautiful clientele at that price point, but now you want to raise your price and people will be up in arms because they think they're getting the same exact service, but now they're paying more for it. So you have to let them know, here's my pricing, but because you're my first 10 clients, you're getting the special deal that's going to go away. That way they already know they're getting a deal and that the normal pricing is X, rather than, oh, I'm raising my prices. Even, it's crazy, even if you try to raise your price $5 for your loyal clients, they're like up in arms about it. But those same people, if you offer them a better valued service for $100 more, they'll sign right up. It's not about the money. They just want to feel like they're getting something more. And you can't have the same service and just charge more, because then they feel like they're being ripped off. So you want to set your prices and think about all the expenses you may not have right away, but that you will have. Rent, commission, insurance, taxes, you know, all of these different things, when you think about what you need to make, should be factored in there. So don't compete on price and don't set your prices too low, because remember, you only have 8 to 10 hours in the day. You want to think about how much you need to make per hour. And yeah, of course, at the beginning, we all have specials and promotions to get busy, but that should be a promotion, not the standard. Okay, my next tip is, this is for more once you guys are ready to hire staff, but it's hiring right. Be slow to hire and fire quickly. I've learned this the hard way. Sometimes you bring people on and one bad teammate can bring down the whole ship. You know how it is. We've all worked places and one person just has a really downer attitude that affects the entire company, right? One negative person can bring down the whole company. So it's really important that you get the right people on your team. Your front desk person is so important, because if you have someone that's like, yeah, what? Do you think people are going to call and book with you? You could be the best stylist in the world, but if your front desk girl is rude, sorry, no one's getting past that gate, right? So it's really important who you bring on your team. And the same is also true if there's any sort of reason where you don't trust someone, or there's theft, or there's just really bad energy. I've done this. I've felt bad for the person. I've kept them on. I've done the warnings. And in every one of those instances, it's gone worse. Those person don't say, oh, she gave me another chance, now I'm going to do things differently. No, they're unhappy. They're behaving in a way that's not conducive to business because they're not in the right space. You just have to cut the ties right away and move on. Because what happens is whatever they're resentful about or whatever their attitude is, it's spreading, and then your whole staff is affected. So it's a hard one, especially as women. I think we have a hard time firing people. But that was a real hard lesson I've learned several times, that I just, maybe you won't need that tip right now, but as you get out there, hopefully you'll remember it. And one thing I do when I say slow hire is I don't just have people send a resume and interview them. I do a second step where I do a challenge, because it's really easy for people to go click, 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 click and send their resume to everybody. But if you have them do a little challenge question or project, you'll see who really wants the job. And the people you want to bring on board are the people that really want to be there. So, you just give them that extra step. So a challenge question might be a scenario like, hey, you have a disgruntled customer. How do you handle it? Or you're overbooked back to back. How do you handle it? It doesn't so much matter what they say, because you could train them, but just what is their disposition? Do they handle it with a smile? Are they calm? Do they know how to be professional? Or are they like, swearing at a customer and telling them we don't need their business? Because all of those things do affect you. Any questions so far, guys? Am I boring you, or is this good? Someone good? Okay. So number 5 is think like an entrepreneur, lash like an artist. And again, this can go to any beauty profession, but I think a lot of us get in this industry because we love the art of it, right? We love the beauty. We love the before and after. That's how I got into it. I was an artist. And I've really had to learn to think like an entrepreneur. That was not first nature to me. And we don't learn in school how to think like an entrepreneur, right? We learn how to do our skill, and we do a great job at it. But what I find most students do wrong when they graduate is they don't look at the big picture, and they don't focus on the actual business, and the business ends up running them. They don't run the business. You have to book time to run the business. You have to be on top of your legal. You have to be on top of your bills. You have to be on top of your payroll. You have to be on top of your cash flow. Cash flow is so essential. If you don't know your inventory, all these things, you're just a slave to your business. And if you don't set boundaries on your time, you're going to be working 24 hours a day. Because we always want to make every client happy. At least that's how I've, it's so hard to say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not working. We try to accommodate. Oh, you have a wedding. Oh, you have red carpet. Let me come in early. Let me stay late. And if you don't set clear boundaries, what happens is you have no time, you have no balance, you become resentful, and your business ends up running you. So it's really important from the start, you have clear time that you're actually running the business, looking at your books, knowing what's going in, what's going out. Every week you should see your cash flow and make sure you're doing okay, because you could be making great money on paper. All these people did packages and it looks all swell and great. But if you don't have cash because your cash flow is off, you're spending quicker than it's coming in, or you did packages and now you don't have any cash flow coming in, or whatever the reason being, that can pull you under. So it's really important you set time, and you need to set time to work with your employees. If you have employees, you need to set time to do the legal stuff that's going to be the basis of your business. It's really easy to just get sucked into the services all day and wanting to accommodate everybody and wondering like, oh, I got to make money. I'm new, I'm starting out, and not pay attention to the bigger picture of the actual business. Not everybody's a business owner. And so if you really are like the artist type and you're not business minded, partner with someone that's business minded. You don't have to do, I think a lot of us feel like we have to do everything ourselves to make a lot of money. We have to own the salon. And that's not true. I have a lot of employees that just come in, they make their money, they do their services and leave, and they don't have to think about things when they go home at night. They're not up 24 hours a day thinking about their marketing or their legal or dealing with a court case or blah, 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 because all this stuff happens as an owner. That may not be the right decision for you. So it's really important that it is a business, and it's not always better to be the business owner. Sometimes you make more when you don't have all those expenses. When you're the business owner, the buck always stops at you. Your employees can do something bad, but it comes back to you, right? You could be the best artist in the world, but if you hire someone and she's doing shoddy work, it's going to come back to you. So it's really important that you're taking on that whole role as an entrepreneur. And the other thing with that is thinking about like pricing and stuff. I have so many people when I do the trade shows, they'll come to our booth and be like, oh, your products cost more. And I explain to them, well, yeah, our product to do a full set of lashes costs $3.50. The product you're buying on Amazon probably costs $2 per person when you do the math. So it's a difference of $1.50. But my product is going to last twice as long for your client. So you could charge $50 to $100 more. If you do the math, it makes more sense to have a better quality product for better results, to have a better higher end client than to try to save a few dollars by ordering through Amazon when there's no guarantees. You don't know who's making that. You don't know what's in it. You know, it's your reputation, your brand. One bad allergy, one bad experience could ruin your business. So it really, you want to think about that stuff as a business owner and not just think about like, well, what's the least expensive supplies or what's the least expensive rent. One example I gave earlier was I had a lash client call, one of my LAshX clients call, and she said, oh, I have to buy 6 more cleansers. And it kind of made my ears perk. I'm like, well, that means you sold 6 cleansers. So you made $100. So that should be a good thing, right? You profited $100, you're buying more. You have to spend money to make money. So why is it like a stress? And then she told me, well, I'm doing all my services for free. That's how I'm marketing. So I was like, okay, well, tell me what you want to charge. And she said she wanted to charge $350 for a full set, which is a pretty high price point. And, but she said, oh, but I got really low rent. I'm in the back of a barber shop. So for me, I was like, okay, so you're doing free services. That's not a great marketing strategy because how many people would take a free set of lashes? Okay, now how many of you would pay $350 for the lashes? Maybe half of you, maybe some of you still would. But once you give something for free, do you value it? I always talk like, remember you go to a concert and they give you like a free Frisbee and you don't really want a Frisbee. You'd never buy that Frisbee, but because they're handing it to you and it's free, you take it, right? Well, yes, you're going to do something free. People are going to sign up for it, but it doesn't mean they're going to be a paying customer leader. It's not a great strategy to get busy. The other issue was her location. It didn't mesh with her target. Her clientele target was someone that would pay $350 for lashes. Are those people getting their hair done at the barbershop? Probably not, right? If you're someone that pays $350 for your lashes, you probably are going to a swanky hair salon too, right? Because you value a certain thing, right? So she's going to have to work triple as hard to try to get clients to go into that barbershop and feel comfortable than if she just paid a little more rent and was in a really nice high-end hair salon where her target market is already there. All she has to do then is have the hairstylist model the lashes and she's booked. So you have to think about these things from like a big picture. It's not always about getting like the cheapest rent or the cheapest supply. Think about your overall goal and who your target is, what location you need to be in. To, you know, if your clients are all uptown, I don't know where you guys live, but say all your clients are downtown and those are the people that can afford your services, but you're uptown, well, they're not going to want to drive, right? So maybe you drive and open a space where your clients are. Or if you're going after working professionals and your thing is going to be the quickie at lunch, the lunchtime quickie fix, and you're doing like a quickie facial during the lunch break, then you want to be near office buildings where people value that, not the stay-at-home mom, right? So you need to make sure your price, your place, your promotion, your product, everything align with who your target client is. So I always have my students start by drawing out on a paper who their market is. Who is this person?
You have 2 minutes, Manny.
Oh gosh, the time flew by. Sorry guys, I didn't get through all 10. This happened last time too, but I want to open it up for questions. Let me do that for the next few minutes. And then I can send you guys the rest of my tips. Do you guys have questions about anything?
Okay, you said beginner prices for lashes. What would be too high? What would be too low?
But for what? For pricing?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you know, again, it really depends on where you're located, who your client is, what your space is like. There's no right or wrong,
Okay.
but for you, there might be. Like for you, you might think like, I need to make at least $50 an hour before my expenses. And work backwards. If a full set's going to take you an hour and a half or 2 hours, then you need to charge at least, you know, $200 to cover that. I'm just making things up, but and it could just be based on your location and what other people are charging and what you're going to offer and how you're going to differentiate yourself. Maybe you're the most luxe lash place in town and your thing is you're the most expensive and people come there because you're the most expensive because they want the best. Well, then maybe you just charge $500 and it's super glam, it's super posh, and that's your thing. Maybe, like I said, you're more going for the green client, or maybe you're going for the working professional that wants to be in and out fast. I mean, I've tried different things over the years. We've even had 2 lash artists working on one on each eye at the same time to get people in and out. There's all different things you can try and kind of see what works. But the biggest thing is you don't want to start out too low. It's always easier to do a promotion. And I'm really anti-Groupon, unless that's your clientele, because you'll notice that Groupon people kind of bounce from place to place, deal to deal, and you end up not making much money. And those are the people I find that don't tip, they write the bad review. I don't know, I haven't had luck with the Groupon people. For me, that's not where my clientele is not on Groupon. So I'm a higher price point. So, I partner with the high-end hotels, the concierge, I bring the menus and I give them a free service so that they recommend their visitors to me. I partner with the high-end bridal boutiques. I partner with the best hairstylists. Those are the people that are going to give you the word of mouth referrals that people trust. Everyone trusts their hairstylist. So where are they going to send you for your skincare or lashes? It might be good to partner with somebody that's a Cosmo and do their lashes. They could do your hair and then you could cross refer. There's a lot of inexpensive ways to market. But you just want to make sure it's all aligned. So if your friend is doing hair, but not for your type of clients, that's not going to be a good partnership. And the other thing is there's so many influencers right now. Everyone's going to want to say, oh, be an influencer. Will you do me for free? Really vet those people. Do their followers make sense for you? Is it worth your time? Because remember, that's time you're not making money. So make sure, if your influencer has 1 million followers, but the followers are all 12 years old, that might not make sense for you, or if they're all boys or whatever it is. So you just have to make sure you guard your time. Great question though. And if you guys, have more questions after this, we're always open. You could always call us. We go through a lot of this in our lash trainings and our different training programs. We're really in depth with like the business side of things too, because it has to be a full picture. You can do the best services in the world, but if you don't know how to eloquently speak and explain what you're doing and educate your client, you're just not going to do as well in the industry. I've had salons with up to 14 stylists in the same salon, and some of them are making well into 6 figures and some are making like no money, and we give them the same number of leads. And the difference is that person's work ethic, their knowledge, they want to keep learning, their way of communicating with a client. Hey, this is the newest thing and here's the products. And they really keep their clients engaged. They know about their clients. They write the notes. They remember about their kids. They remember about the dog. Those little things, buy the little gifts for the birthday, make all the difference. You could do good service, but if you don't remember your client's name and every time you forget what you're doing on them, you don't have notes. I mean, that is apparent. You have to know. You have to be able to explain the consent form eloquently so people know what they're getting before you do the service. You have to be able to explain how to care for the lashes or the brow tint or whatever service you're doing, the peel. If you don't educate the people, they're not going to do the right thing and then they're going to blame you. So part of our job is not to be salespeople, but to really educate the client. Like, hey, we just did a beautiful peel. You can't go home and use, oil of Olay on your skin or whatever it is, right? Same with the lashes. You can't go home and use some foaming cleanser that's going to dehydrate your hair or cause mites or baby shampoo. You need to use the right proper product. Same with, when you get your hair done or anything. So it's our job to educate the client. You have to know how to do that. You have to be comfortable with that. And you have to show that you're an expert. When people walk into my salon and I explain them the consent form, before I've even touched them, they know I know what I'm doing because I know how to explain it. I can tell them about allergies. I can tell them about ingredients. I can tell them about everything in my salon.
We will have a class coming up for all this soon. Correct, Mandy? You want to share that with them maybe?
Well, we're going to have a business class online that you guys can sign up for, but we do these free webinars too. So if you sign up for our newsletter, you can always come to our webinars and we do different topics. We also, our accounts, we do free coaching, we do business planning. So all of that is complimentary. And, I really just want my accounts to do well because obviously if you guys are successful, we're successful. So I love seeing the businesses grow and bloom, and being able to be, you know, a
Part of
guide
it.
to people. Yeah. You guys, I'll pop up in the chat. There's a discount code if you do want to try any of our products or classes. It's just student 15. And our website is LAshX.pro. Make sure you do the .pro because that's for our professionals where things are wholesale. If you go to LAshX.shop, that's the consumer pricing. So make sure you go to the right site because you guys will get things at wholesale.
You can pull our, can you pull our contact numbers too, just in case, so they can save that?
And you can call us. I'll put my email, my personal email, and our phone number. Thank you for all the awesome questions. I have time for 1 or 2 more questions if anyone has any.
How would we like start working at those high-end places?
How do you start working like after you graduate?
Yes,
At high-end places.
And I'm sorry, what?
very high-end places.
I'm so sorry, I can't hear
They
you.
want to work at high-end places.
Oh, like how do you?
How?
Yeah, so you could either rent a room there, or you can do a commission split, or you can just work as an employee under a great mentor if you can find it. You know, I think high-end places are still willing to bring in new people as long as you have the right work ethic. You know, when you go in there for that job interview, look the part, have your nails perfect, look great, come in with your resume. Say, you know what, I'm new to this industry, but I'm not new to working. I'm great with customer service, and here's my portfolio of pictures. You know, I can't tell you how many people I've interviewed. I'll put the time and effort into training someone if I think they're going to be a long-term partner with me. But you know, people will come in and rip jeans and their boobs hanging out, and like they don't think about that stuff. Also, your social media, your boss is going to Google you. Make sure your social media is professional. If you have a work Instagram, make sure it's all work. Don't mix it in with your friends. Don't mix it in with your party nights. No boss wants to see that. So just, you know, you guys know, just be super professional and you can get in there. Every salon owner wants to partner with good people that are dedicated. We don't mind training you if you're going to be long-term. I think what most salon owners fear is they put all this effort and money into training people, and then the person gets good and then they leave.
Yeah.
So if you can commit to them, like, hey, if you pay for my training, I promise I'll be here for at least 2 years, or I'll be here a year at least, you know, they'll be more incentivized to really invest in you. But I think a lot of salon owners get burned because they pay for trainings, they pay for all this, the person gets great, and then they leave and they take clients, you know, and that's kind of our industry. But I think, you know, if you really partner right and you set it up right where there's a mutual respect, the owner wants the salon stylist to do well. And they're there to support you and help you if you set up the right relationship. I just think there's such bad blood between owners and employees because there are a lot of owners that take advantage. So you get out of school and they don't pay you the right rates, and then you get basically jaded because you're working for nothing trying to like get experience. And the same is also true. Owners get burned because people steal from them, people steal clients, people build a big business and then they take it away. And so both people, you just have to find someone that's really honest and really gonna be there to support you if you're gonna work for them. And they're gonna pay you a great rate or commission that's worthy of your time. You know, don't let anyone, you're interviewing them too. So when you go in these job interviews, make sure you have your questions. You know, because I get all the stories of the employees that have been mistreated. And then I get the stories from the salon owners that like spent all this money to put their students through lash training and then the person left. So I hear both sides. So it's really just important to partner with people that you can build a long-term relationship and work towards the same goals. You know, I hope that answers the question. As far as getting your first clients, you know, that's your best resources are people you know, word of mouth. I never recommend spending a ton of money on advertising because you don't know if that's going to work. What does work is women talk to their friends. And when your friend has great looking lashes or great looking brows and great looking skin, and they tell their friend about it, they're more likely to come in than some Google ad or Yelp ad. We trust our friends, we trust our hairstylists. So try to partner with the right people. And then do promotions. And then if there are hotels nearby or people, other people trust, those are the ones you want to be promoting you. So, you know, if they're like, there's a high-end boutique near you or a boutique that your clientele shops at and people trust their authority, you know, those are good people to promote with. So just be selective of who you partner with and make sure they're a fit for your target market. I only have time for one more question. Is there any more? No, you guys are awesome. I'm so excited for you. When do you graduate?
May.
Friday?
May.
Okay. I was like, wow. So you guys still have some time. So that's awesome. And as you dive more into the industry, you're going to figure out what services you love doing and others you probably will hate. And that's totally great. And then you find a niche. I think it's really great to be the specialist at one thing because you can make your name in that thing. And it doesn't have to be, you could be this person that specializes in, you know, whatever, like holistic therapy while you lash, or, you know, you can make your own world. You know, not only am I a psychiatrist, but I'm also a lash artist, or I play inspirational webinars while you get your lashes done. Whatever your specialty is, you could totally make it up, but be known for that. And that's your differentiating thing. You know, you guys could all open on the same street and you'd all have different clients because you're all unique. Your clients are coming for you. You know, we go to our stylist because of the person we build that relationship with. So remember, people come to you for you. There's no other you. You don't have to compete on price. You don't have to compete on anything. You're unique, and just you have to figure out what's unique about you and what you're going to do to set yourself apart. And you don't have to worry about competition. There's never competition because you're the only one. Thank you guys so much for your time, and please reach out if you need anything. And I'm so excited for you. And please, I'll put our YouTube too. It's all free. You could get started there on just watching some of the demos. And I explain consent forms. I explain legal stuff. I have business tips, how to price. If you have certain videos you would love to see, we're filming all the time. So just let us know. But hopefully that's a good resource for you. We really want you to be really successful in whatever avenue you choose. And we're here as a free resource, so utilize us. All right. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.